Alright guys, so today we are going to explore into the burst action full burst. So the one that I am using in particular is going to be from Freedom. There are, I believe, three other ones you can use. We have the Justice and the Infinite Justice, and then there's Strike Freedom. I find Freedom one to be a little bit more easier to kind of use. So you can also use Justice if you want, but for our sake for this video, we're just going to be using Freedom. So this one allows you to fire any of the other beam weaponries and then railgun as well. So those are going to be considered and then do extra damage. So I have already did my homework, future up parts that I have tested out on my op time to see if they actually work. But if there are some that I did not test, or there's some that actually works where I for whatever reason then I catch it, you guys can definitely let me know. So let's actually go over the parts that we have used or going to be using. In terms of the ability cartridge, we are not using anything. There's nothing for the shield actually. So I didn't even feature anything. Like there's some I feel like it could work, but I mean, like how the game is, it did not allow it, so kind of unfortunate. For the melee weapon or the close range weapon, we're just using the same one that I have been using for pretty much all of my range build. So this is kind of like a default one that I'm using. And then for the ranged weapon, we have the following. So I just have the Strike Freedom's beam rifle, and these are some of the abilities on them. So pretty decent, not anything too special. And then this one is for the left, so this one does have a little bit less of the capacity, so we have that. Now let me actually filter. I filter on green, this one over here. But as far as the backpack, I'm just going to be using Freedom, so that's the only one that we are going to be taking up the slot for. Legs, we actually have few contenders, actually a lot of different options. You might think only the Strike Freedom or like the Freedom and the Strike Freedom would work, but there are a lot of ones that actually are a good option as well. So if you are trying to go for any particular aesthetics, for example, you do have that cover and will allow you to do decent damage. For the left arm, there is not a lot of good option, unfortunately. I don't know why is this one on green? I don't know. Let me actually remove that one. Yeah, but Dom does not, obviously does not have anything, so I'm not really sure why we have that. But yeah, arms, we don't have that much, unfortunately. And then right arms, we have a little bit more, just a tad more. This one shouldn't be on here, actually. But other than that, everything else just looks correct on here. And then body shouldn't be. I think this one is probably when I was setting it up for like a separate video, then we have that. But other than that, torso wise, we do have quite the options. I forgot to filter in Girlfriend, the one from whatchamacallit, from Gundam H. That one is also the same as Legolas, so I mean, like they're pretty much interchangeable in a way. And for the heads, we only have a double Zeta. So let's actually get started with the initial testing without anything, just solely relying on the the Freedom's backpack, and then we're gonna go through to see what our max capacity or max damage is. So let's get started. So let's kind of see what kind of number we can get. And there is one very important thing I do want to point out. When you are using the full burst, you want to make sure your reaction speed is exactly 110 to maximize its damage, because as we are seeing, this is a head part. I'm using still the same cannon, but this one has 110, and then we're gonna swap over to one that has more than that. So from this one with a head part that gives you the reaction speed of 110%, we are able to do 366, and then I'm gonna swap over and then equip a different head part that has a higher reaction speed. So my straight girlfriend Amasu actually has a reaction speed of 143. So let's equip that real quick and then we're gonna jump in. Alright, so we are back in. So the reason being why the reaction speed actually affects or greatly affects the amount of damage that you are able to do, because you guys can see how fast we are able to just launch all the burst, full burst right there. So that means the enemy has less timer to actually, you know, fully taking all those damage. So because the faster we go, the less that is gonna take in. So that's why you want to use a headpiece that has the lowest possible reaction speed. So I know as you are leveling through, like especially just the level itself, it is still going to be easy increasing your reaction speed. So the next best thing you will have to do is going to go into your ability cartridge and then, you know, find something that's negative. So that's the only option, or that's the only time when the negative actually is a good thing for ABR building, specifically for the full burst. But other than that, 366 is going to be our initial base damage that we are using, and then let's start actually equipping some of the parts that will greatly affect the damage from the full burst. Alright, so that's why for this double zeta I picked the one that has the lowest level. So this one only gives me, this one is actually 101%, but it shouldn't matter that much. This one has, oh yeah, look at that, 1 extra percent. So we'll take that. 1% is not really gonna affect it by that much, but anything higher, like at least like a good 10, 20 or 30% is gonna greatly affect it. So we have that equipped. So this one, like I was testing through every single combination that seems like it's gonna be like a beam attack, whatever, but this symbol, it looks like it's a bazooka typing, or the image of it is still counts. I don't know why. But in terms of the better damage from the torso, there's actually a few that gives you a good amount. Abyss, Galplan, we have a, what is it? Legatus, a Lifeline 7. No, that one is not good. Oh, Strike Freedom. I did not include Strike Freedom on him. What? How could I do that? Yeah, Strike Freedom is actually one of the higher echelon that gives you damage. I'm pretty much on par with some of the other one. But I completely forget to change up the, the symbol. So where can we actually find one? There you go. Actually do that. Then we'll future this back. No, let's do all, and then this will be this. So we can just kind of find one that aesthetically looks good. For example, I think Tryon. Let's actually use Tryon 3. Tryon 3 actually gives you a pretty good damage as well. I wasn't expecting Liger Glare to be effective as well, but I mean it works. So we are going to equip this one. 40 arms. The arms, there's a few, and the one that comes up on top is actually the Tology stuff. So we can use either the Tology's 1, the 3, or I believe this one as well, the Endless War version, the base one. Me personally, I actually do like the Tology's 3 a little bit better, so we can use this one. While the, can I actually use the base color? Yeah, let's do that. 40 left, or the, excuse me, the right. There's not necessarily one that actually is above and beyond. So I think for geometry wise, just for the symmetricalness of it, I'm just gonna be using HDB. So we can equip that real quick. So at least it doesn't look that bad, right? So we can just do that. As far as the legs actually have some goofy options. We can use a Xeon without the legs, or if you want to use the legs version, it actually deals a little bit less damage. Other than that, all the other one are gonna be roughly about the same as each other, but since I'm trying to get the max cap, I'm just gonna be using Xeon for the goofiness of it. So let's do that. And then other than that, there's nothing else that kind of works, unfortunately. Like if we do future into shield, for example, let me show you guys. The shield, there's a lot I feel like it should be applicable to, but I don't know why they don't make the shield applicable to it. So let's do this. Like as we are going down the list, for example, Atomic Bazooka, it has the same symbol, but I mean, I know it does not launch it. The shield is more like the placeholder for the like the barrel portion of things, but I mean, like, man, that should have worked. All right, so here we are with this really goofy looking build. So let's kind of see. I'm kind of curious, so I think I'm just gonna be up top because I don't know, I feel like Liger Glare kind of scares me. Like I feel like the distance has to be closer, but I don't think it really matters all that much, so I'm just gonna be right over here. Ooh, look at those beams. Woo. 2.38 mil. That's not too terrible. I think that's actually pretty good. What about if we are in the shooting mode? Let's kind of see. Let's see. Okay, slowly rotate this through. And then, oh, look at those colorful beams. 2.49. Okay, that's not bad. I think when we were using the full open attack, that one actually eclipsed a little bit more. But I mean, I found other parts that actually would be applicable to it. You know, it definitely depends on the part that you want to equip. But other than that, most of them relatively does the same amount of damage, so that's why I picked them. But that's not bad. And keep that in mind, in terms of the build part, I believe they don't work, so we can actually give it a try as well. So for the testing of it, we are going to be slapping on the rail cannon from Gundam Perfect Strike Freedom. So this is just an easy one to test out because in terms of Strike Freedom and the Freedom, it has the both rail cannon as well. So if it works, we'll definitely know. If it does not, we'll definitely know as well. So let's kind of see. But I'm just gonna say any of the build parts does not get count into it. So let's just kind of see. Yep, it does not count. So we got a 2.38 again. So unfortunately, any of the builder part will not be applicable to increasing the full burst damage. So, but there you guys have it. So this is gonna be how you can play around with the full burst. So you guys can definitely let me know how you guys feel about the full burst specifically, and then I'll definitely do like this separate video taking on like using the full burst specifically to see what kind of destruction we can do, because this one is beam oriented. I feel like we can probably, if we are lucky, we can probably laze our hands into multiple enemy and just kind of call it a day. I don't know, but with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it, and I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.